Welcome to the Pool A World Championship Ice Hockey Games from Switzerland. This is day 4 of the competition. Today's match features West Germany against the power of Czechoslovakia. The Czechoslovakians, of course, one of the powers in this tournament, still unbeaten so far. Last night's game between the Soviets and the Finns went as follows. An early goal here, Komatov finding the back of the goal. Power play situation. Fedosov with a lot of time here. Komatov, no mistake to be made there. 1-0 Soviet Union. Another power play situation. Later in the period, the Russians all over the ice here. Komatov taking a lot of time. Back to Tatarinov for the big shot. Goal number 2. There you see the puck move back to Tatarinov. This is Lindfer's view. It's not a good one. 2-0 Soviet Union. That's how the first period ended. The Finns weren't to be counted out. In the second period here, a cheeky little move from Keskinen. Nylander finds the back of the goal. 2-1. There you see Nylander putting the puck behind Milnikov. The Russians ever so dangerous in every situation. Short-handed here. Semak allowed to walk out from the boards with the puck. Takes the shot. It's off the pads of the goalie. Nemchinov right on the rebound. 3-1 Soviet Union. There you see Semak with the shot. Lindfors with the initial save. Nemchinov left wide open for that rebound. And that's how the second period ended. The third period was all Soviet Union. There's Nemchinov right in front of the net. Goal number 4. Fedosov with the shot. Goalie does well on the initial save. Nobody's back to help him. Nemchinov makes it 4-1. The play still all Soviet Union. Russians in a lot of command here as Komatov with a cheeky little move makes it 5-1. There you see Komatov with a shot. It's all Soviet Union at this point. Within 30 seconds, Davidov again stealing the puck on a breakaway. Score, goal number 6. 6-1 Soviet Union over Finland. Another look at that. Davidov breaks away from the pack, puts the puck behind the goaltender. Well, the West Germans have been winless so far in this tournament, but they've played very well. They've got a gutsy team, and they never say die. So far in this tournament, they've had a 5-1 loss to Canada, 5-2 at the hands of the Russians, a heavy loss, 6-0 to Sweden. They were 7th in the '89 World Championship Games. One bright spot for West Germany, Gerhard Trunchka, a very talented forward. He's all over the ice and sees a lot of ice time. A good two-way hockey player. He's one to watch. The Czechs, of course, one of the favorites in this tournament. Not enough can be said about them. They were 3rd in the '89 World Championships, 7-1 over the US, 4-2 over Finland. They hammered Norway 9-1. A man to watch tonight, Robert Reichel, number 17, a very talented young forward. He can do it all, gets a lot of credit, definitely a player to watch. West Germany against Czechoslovakia, don't go away. A lot of action coming up on Eurosport.
Switzerland for this Pool A game between West Germany and Czechoslovakia.
The Czechs have got to be favored here. They're one of the powers in this tournament. They've got a lot of talent, a good team to watch.
Well, let's take a look first at the West German lineup. They'll be going with Klaus Merck between the pipes, and I've been impressed with him. Pokenoy is big on defense, along with Kreis. Kiesling, an old-timer. He's a seasoned veteran. He knows what to do. Ukrup is in the lineup now, and Brittig is out. Bernhard Trunchka has been working hard up front, along with Gerhard Trunchka. George Holtzman has been fast and speedy along the wing. Draisaitl is back in there. Niederberger is a good defenseman, so keep your eye on him. Hagen is strong, and Steiger can put the puck in the net. So the Germans with a lot of potential out there.
They're up against a tough lineup here from Czechoslovakia. Dominik Hasek, probably one of the best goaltenders in the world, 88-89 All-Star team goalie. A strong backup in Peter Bryza. They've got good defense with Kadlik and Serban. A lot of experience in Prohatska. Kuchera is a very talented player to watch. Dolezal, Staviana, the young superstar Robert Reichel, up-and-coming hockey player, well-respected. Robert Krohn, a veteran. Seeger, very talented, prolific goal scorer out there. Jaeger, another good one to watch. Galana, strong forechecker. Jelinek, of course, his name has been around before. And Labina as well.
So, Piotrowski out there calling the teams together. The Czechs will be playing from right to left in the dark red jerseys. And this is one the West Germans would truly love to win. Czechoslovakia is still undefeated in the tournament. They've looked confident and they've looked strong, along with the Soviets, the Swedes, and the Canadians. All of those teams have dominated this tournament. Kiesling gets it up on the wing, and Gerhard Trunchka takes a bump right on the blue line, and Kiesling gets it back.
The Germans are going to have to try and contain the Czechs, who move the puck very quickly like the Russians do, and the Czechs are very good at playing the body as well.
Staviana got that one forward. Some good forechecking there from Steiger. Right out front, Serban comes to the rescue and gets that up along the wing. Niederberger runs interference as Kiesling goes back. Hasek forechecking. You're going to see a lot of fast play here from both teams. The West Germans will not be allowed to sit around. They're going to have to move it quickly if they want to get it out of their zone. Gudas shot that one to the far corner. Back to Gudas. No, Kadlak picks it up. Gudas on the far side. Lubina had a few problems with it. That's bouncing right in the slot area. Is eventually batted down. Heimer over to the far side. The team's changing on the move here in the early stages. Heimer falls and gets that out. Burke now for West Germany. Not a good pass from him. Picked up by Kuchera. Taken out right at the blue line. Some good close checking work here from both teams. Burke shoots it in, and Trunchka has Holtzman right in front. Trunchka couldn't get the pass out. Burke takes a hit right on the boards, and that goes into the neutral zone, and the West Germans with Holtzman now. Holtzman to the far side. Both teams feeling their way here in the early stages of the first period. A long pass intended for number 22, Lupzig, but it didn't come off. Staviana to the far side. That came out over the blue line, and they're going to try that again. Taken out of the play there is Dolezal. Back on the attack, Brandl for West Germany. The whistle blows. Offside, the call.
Right off the start here, you can see it's going to be a tight checking game, as both teams are not giving each other an inch of play out there.
Well, in addition to that call, the West Germans find themselves with a man down. Harold Chris in the penalty box for West Germany. Roughing the call. Kiesling, as we've seen so many times, goes up on that wing when they're short-handed, and sometimes when they're at full strength, the big defenseman finds his way up there just for the face-off. Going in now, Reichel working his way in on goal. Reichel goes in. A good effort by number 17. Never stops skating. Jagger, Reichel takes the shot. He scores! A power play goal for Czechoslovakia. And Reichel puts his arms in the air and celebrates.
It didn't take long for the Czechs to strike here on this power play. They're moving the puck well. Reichel with a great shot here. Finds the back of the net as it goes through the players in front of the goaltender. There you see Reichel winds it up. Maybe a bit of a surprise that he shot from that angle. It does the job for goal number 1.
Again from a different angle. Niederberger right in front of Merck there. Perhaps a possible screen. 1-0 the score. Just 2:40 gone here in the period. A long shot on Hasek by Draisaitl. Intercepted there by Seeger. Seeger, that one goes off the skate. Krupp gets that as far as the blue line. Willem to Draisaitl. Draisaitl pivots, turns, eventually falls to the ice and loses control. Crone. Robert Crone out there. Moves it up to Hasek. It's been a good line. Those two have really played well along with Seeger. Serban dropping it back. The long shot by Hasek. And the Czechs now starting to throw it around with confidence. Seeger losing out there to Krupp. Trunchka trying to push that right through to Hagen. It almost came off as Krupp now picks it up on the blue line. That takes a deflection off the skate. Going back for it is Steiger. Trunchka's there to help him out. Seeger comes in and hits Trunchka, but the West Germans still have control of the puck. It's beside the net. They're trying to push it out front with Trunchka. Still Trunchka in control. Some good moves there by Trunchka as he gets it back to Dieter Hagen. The Czechs coming back in numbers, and Trunchka taken out of the play as Kuchera picked it up and gave it to Dolana. Prohatska pushing that through to Dolana. Dolana trying to get that back. He got it back into the slot area, and Trunchka picked it up. Holtzman pushed away at center ice. Kuchera. The drop pass, the shot right on the money. The save coming from Merck, and that's pushed all the way down. Going back for it is Baca. Burke gets there too. Baca is calling to the linesman. Why didn't you call an icing call on that one? Eventually it's pressed against the woodwork, but the official says play on, play on.
2 men from each team in the corner here. The Czechs are still screaming about the icing call. It never came off. The Germans weren't concerned with it. They wanted the puck. The last minute or two, this game has opened right up. It's been end-to-end action.
Baca still shaking his head. He couldn't understand why that one was waved off.
He went back a little more nonchalant than he normally would have, assuming that it was going to be an icing call, and as soon as he got back there, he got hit.
One thing the coach will always tell you is never expect anything out there. Play it as if the whistle will not blow, and then there won't be any mistakes. So you give 100% all the time, even though you think it's icing, and then you won't come up short. Herdina finds his way into the penalty box along with the West German Holtzman. Both of them will sit it out for 2 minutes for slashing. That little confrontation that we saw at center off the puck while Baca was calling for an icing. Oh! Brandel was dumped to the ice by Gudas. Some good defensive work there Randall got up slowly. Really can't blame him. The shot by Gudas takes it deep into West German territory. Brandl's back in the action now. Still, it's kept in, pressed against the boards, and we'll have another face-off.
Price taking his man out well. The American referee signaling that the face-off will go outside the blue line. In that the Czechoslovakian forward had fallen on the puck.
So both teams with a man in the box here. And this, I feel, will favor the Czechs. It'll give them more space out on the ice. They really do like to spread it out and throw it around. Reichel pushing it forward now, going in on the backhand side. Jaeger tried to get that shot away, but was impeded by a hook. Jaeger wearing that full face mask.
Referee right on the spot as the Czechs quickly broke away on that face-off. There you see Piotrowski, the American referee, saying, shut up and get in the penalty box. That'll be 2 minutes to Dieter Hagen for a hook. There you see him there, not overly enthused with that call.
1-0 the score here in the first period. Let's look at this again. You can see the hook coming from the far side.
Hagen just trying to get back into the play, felt he was in a situation where he had to do it.
Jaeger was a step ahead of him. Now the West German side are a man down. Trunchka stays out there. Staviana works it in slowly and gets it over to Serban. Back to Staviana. Staviana takes a shot. That took a deflection off Kiesling. Back to Staviana, right at the top of the slot. A good move there by Kiesling. He's going to spend a lot of time on the ice. Serban tees it up, takes a shot. And that's batted away off the blocker. Staviana now for Czechoslovakia, over to Serban. He takes another shot. And again, the save comes from Merck. Trunchka doing some heavy stuff along the boards. And this time they get it down the ice. Hasek gets a touch. And Czechoslovakia now bring it out over the blue line. And we have another whistle on the plate. The referee signaling to the Czech bench. As he skates over to the penalty box.
Once again, that happening just off the play. You can see the referee making motions out there as to what's going on. The Czechoslovakian penalty box is opened up. There you see Jaeger, he's going over. He's going to go in the penalty box on interference. But as he interfered with the German forward, there was a retaliation there. There you see it. A slashing call going against number 24, Helmut Steiger. He's got one of each out there. There you can see 3 Germans sitting in the penalty box now.
But of course, on the ice, they will only be down 2 men. That's the maximum you can have off at any one time, even though you have 3 players in the box. So, a lot of work here for the referee in the first period as Trunchka gets it over to the far side. The West Germans will try to kill off some of these penalties. Hasek, Hrdina steps on the ice, and that's going to help the Czechoslovakian side. Hasek now getting it up on the wing. A lot of whistles and jeers coming from the West German supporters. Baka to the far side. The net has been dislodged, and it's becoming chippy this game, Richard. All sorts of things happening off the puck.
That happened right around the goal of Merck. There you can see Krupp. He is one big defenseman out there, and he took Hasek into that goal.
Well, they're still trying to sort this out. They put the net back on its moorings. One of the favorites for the tournament out there in red, the Czechs, leading this one by 1-0. Gudas. Gudas again. Gudas right beside Merck, and Gudas gets it back again. One of the problems, the shot right there coming from Cadillac. Gudas gets it over to Cadillac again. Gudas, and one of the problems I was about to say is that the Czechs have a tendency to fire it around too many times. That one was a save. Cadillac. Hagen steps back on the ice. Leo Gudas punches that one into the corner of the shot. Dolana. Merck is playing well. Dieter Hagen now, fresh from the penalty. Hagen breaking right in. That took a deflection off of Dolana. Some good defensive work. Hasek shoves that one behind the net. And Czechoslovakia now having problems getting out of their zone. Gudas. Kuchera wants it. Gudas called for it and picked it up. Brings it deep into his own territory. Is being shadowed there. Burke eventually tips it away.
The crowd was really getting on Leo Gudas as he's throwing the body around out there. He slammed Hagen into the boards. That's about his third great hit out there in this first period.
The long shot. Hrdina from along the boards. Jaeger getting set to jump back on the ice as Pavel Woll walked up and down the bench saying, hey guys, calm it down. Let's cut out the rubbish. Let's play some hockey out there. Not a lot of action around Dominik Hasek here in the first period. Hrdina takes his man Schmidt into the boards, but the West Germans come up with it and come down. Burke stops, waits for reinforcements, gets it in. Holtzman takes the shot. That took a deflection. Burke couldn't get it, and coming out is Kuchera, but he's squeezed out of the play. Steiger gets on the ice, but there's going to be another penalty on the play. The official skated by. A slap shot blocked away by Mertz. The Germans touch it, and the delayed penalty is against West Germany.
That happening as the play broke down. George Holtzman put the grab on his player, and he'll sit 2 for holding. The Germans are going to be shorthanded once again. These are the situations they don't want to get themselves into.
Well, it's difficult to contain a team like Czechoslovakia. They really do throw that puck around. Fast skaters, good stick handlers, good playmakers. And so, from time to time, they're going to resort to grabbing and holding. There's Holtzman there, doing a little of both. A nice rugby tackle right at center. Czechoslovakia now with another power play situation. Hrdina tried to get it back to number 18, Baka. But it was intercepted nicely, and the Germans having a good period. They're killing off these penalties with authority. Czechoslovakia now. Jaeger, Pokorny. The net is wide open. Dolezal took a swipe at it and missed it. That was a weak shot, got as far as the goal mouth. Baka goes back for it. Shadowed there by Hagen. Baka. Prohatska flips it over to the far side to Jaeger. The pass intended for number 21 as Pollock intercepted. Some good work here by West Germany in their own zone.
They're doing a good job clearing that zone. The Czechs are getting a few bad bounces around the goal. The Germans are able to come up with them and get the puck out of the zone.
And yet another penalty on the play.
It's been a very busy period for Steve Piotrowski, the American referee. The Germans have had 5 penalties already, and this one's going to go against the Czechs. There you see the Czech player making his way to the penalty box. That's Baca, committed the trip. He doesn't believe that call.
I don't believe it either. He wasn't anywhere near him.
I think Piotrowski's just got penalties on the mind now. He's had to call so many in this period. Krupp actually stepped on the puck and tripped.
Well, a tough break for Czechoslovakia. If that results in a goal, I'm sure when he sees it on the replay, he'll be having nightmares about it.
I mean, mind you, you can't put the puck in the penalty box, but I don't think that Baca should have gone either.
Gudas getting that up to Hollick. Hollick drops it back. Czechoslovakia now in the neutral zone. Reichel, the long shot. Merck makes it look easy. Reichel picks it up and takes it back to center ice. The long rink-wide pass to Gudas. Look at the time he's got. The whistle blows, but I think he took too much time getting it over the blue line. A good shot there, Holzman. And Baca now for Czechoslovakia is still sitting it out in the sin bin. Holzman getting set to step on the ice. Trunchka for West Germany. At center with Burke. Trunchka drops it off. No one there to pick it up. And the Czechs now with Krohn. Holzman getting back in the action. The shot from Krohn right on the target. Merck made the save. The West Germans with a power play situation now. Let's look at this again on the slow-mo.
Well, Krohn comes down one-on-one here. Shoots the puck high. A good job by Merck to control that one, cover it up. You can see him and Schmidt tapping each other after the play. There you see him hold on. Schmidt gets up and says, "Good job, Klaus. We'll take the face-off here."
Otto Hasek for Czechoslovakia goes up against Dieter Hagen, and Kiesling comes up with the puck. West Germany with a man advantage. Trunchka will try to make the most of this. Kiesling bats it in. Hasek goes after it. Leaves it for the defenseman. That comes out as far as Steiger. He took a weak shot. That's bounced off the boards nicely for Hasek. Again, a bouncer off the boards, gets it back to the defense. Shot as far as the West German side. Trunchka trailing Steiger. Steiger in the corner to Trunchka. Trunchka back to Steiger. A lot of time to set this up. The pass hits a Czechoslovakian player, and Hasek has a lot of time to shoot it down the ice.
Germans unable to control the puck here in the Czech zone and set something up. They need a goal.
Baca steps on the ice. The Czechs are at full strength, and Hasek gets a shot. Clears it away from Gudas. Not a good clearance by him. Picked up along the boards. Kuchera wrestles, eventually steals it away. Tries to get it back, and that goes back to the blue line. Heimer slows it down just a little. Gudas for Czechoslovakia. Lubina flips it in to Merck. Schmidt off the boards. Czechoslovakia with Kuchera getting it in front. Kuchera, the backhand shot. That ended up behind the net as Trunchka picked it up. Lofts that one down the ice. That will go as far as the goaltender. It won't be icing, and Czechoslovakia now back on the attack. Well, Kuchera was right there.
Just managed to flip that backhander wide. That would have been a big goal.
Dolana shoved that one forward, but now Czechoslovakia on the defense. Burke got the pass from Trunchka. Holzman is right in front of the net. Trunchka picks it up, and he's knocked down to the ice. The shot coming from Holzman. Hasek has to make his first serious save of the game. Holzman got in behind the defense, and now West Germany are starting to look hot.
There you see the Germans applying pressure. A good job of forechecking in the zone. Bernd Trunchka doing great work in there. You never know what can happen off these quick shots out of a scramble, and Holtzman tries it, but Hasek is up for it.
This is a difficult shot for a goaltender, not really expecting it. Holtzman is skating the other way, just flips around, and Hasek got the pad on it. All the way down, the goaltender has to flip that one away. Push to the far side. Lupsig, the shot, the rebound for Brando. We see, Richard, how dangerous these shots can be coming off the backboards. Brandl was right there, but Hasek got to it first.
There you see the big shot from Lupsig. That is a blast, actually. That comes right off those end boards. Brandl's right there. Just can't turn onto the forehand to put that puck behind Hasek, who does well to cover it up in the end. There you see Lupsig once again. Big shot. That really, he let that one go. Hasek went down trying to get a view of that one. Comes right off the end boards. Hasek does well to recover. I'm sure these teams are well aware by now in this tournament of those end boards. They're probably working on that in practice even in the mornings, throwing that off the boards.
It's like a trampoline back there. A big elastic band that just says, you hit me, I'm going to send it back twice as fast. Prohatska now sent to the penalty box, and he too shakes his head and smiles. Interference was the call. Dieter Hagen, that one ends up on top of the net for a moment, is pushed off, and it's still in play. The West Germans now buzzing all around that net with Udo Kiesling backhanding it into the corner. Czechoslovakia pick it up. Steiger is there to run interference, but the Czechs get it down into West German territory. Niederberger up on the wing. West Germany coming back. Dieter Hagen. Hagen splits the defense. Runs out of places to go, so he gets it back to Kiesling. Kiesling into Hagen. All the way back to Kiesling. Takes the shot. Takes a deflection off Staviana, number 16, and Trunchka fires it back into the zone. Hagen looking to get that one to Steiger, and Dolezal shoved it into center ice. Gerhard Trunchka. Steiger lost control of that completely, and Reichel says, give it to me, I want to kill this one off. Dolezal. Reichel now for Czechoslovakia. Gets a chance to flip it out to center. Heimer for West Germany drops it to Holtzman. The return pass picked up by Hasek. He scoots that along the boards, and that goes all the way down the ice. Serban getting the touch. 26 seconds now remaining on the penalty to Czechoslovakia. Burke headmans the puck, and that's flipped in behind the goal. Hasek is taken out of the play. Trunchka for West Germany tries to center it, and how many times have we seen that where the Czechs have got in the way of that pass? The one-timer misses the net completely. Burke shoots it back to the red line, and that eventually takes a long, lazy run down the ice. Heimer touches it just as the Czechs stepped out for full strength, and it's icing.
Well, you heard the crowd react a second ago when Harold Burke sort of took Dominik Hasek out of the play behind the net, gave him a bump. He got away with one there. Most teams would have been all over Burke for that. That goalie is meant to be fair game, but it's not a good idea generally to go and hit a goaltender.
Well, if you do hit the goaltender, you better have eyes in the back of your head. Hasek back to number 5, Krupp, the weak shot. They're buzzing around that net again. West Germany going through a really good spell. Krupp, the big defenseman, winds up, takes a shot. Hasek for Czechoslovakia. And the West German side, Richard, really putting on a fine performance here in the first period.
They are up for this game, and they're putting a lot of pressure on. I feel they're a bit unlucky at this point in the period not to have scored a goal.
Well, we talked about a possible upset, and if Any team can do it. We figured West Germany could do it. The shot coming right in on goal there. Scooted wide. Seeger takes a shot to the head. Hasek goes after it. Number 3, Price eventually scoots that down the ice, and Serban picks it up. Flips it to the far side to Stabiana. Stabiana for Czechoslovakia now on the left wing. Stabiana turns, falls, and gives it up to Trunchka. Still kept in the zone. Kuchera. Trunchka is there, and they're mixing it up, muscling along the boards. It's still in play. Merck headmanning it nicely. Steiger shoots that off a skate, and that really has been the story for West Germany. A lot of their passes going off Czechoslovakia's pads, skates, whatever. Serban, the backhand flip. Kuchera dropping it back over to the far side, looking for Dolana. A bit too hard and a bit too far for him. Udo Kiesling takes his man out, but it goes back into the West German territory. Trunchka spends a lot of time on the ice, never seems to tire, gives it to Hagen. Hagen, a little misunderstanding there.
The line of Hagen, Steiger, and Trunchka seeing a lot of action out there in this first period.
Heimer, a nice pass from him. Offside, the call. The big question is, though, what happens in the third period? And that's when the top 4 teams, Czechoslovakia, the Soviet Union, Sweden, and Canada, start to show their class. They show their strength, and they extend what lead they do have, eventually to a win.
The Americans, the West Germans, and the Finns are all good hockey teams, but they just haven't been able to go that third period with the likes of the Czechs or the Russians.
Burke gets a little assistance from the referee. Jelinek wants to bring that one out. Kadlec and Burke talking to each other.
Well, that was probably just a little friendly conversation about what are you doing after the game or something. Nothing serious. Well, obviously they're quite interested in what each other's doing after the game, as they're still having a chat about it. Referees separating them there. Linesman having a word with Harold Burt. Put your gear back on.
He's got to make sure, Richard, that those elbow pads aren't showing. And the official, rightly so, tells him to adjust his gear out there. Gudas, the backhand pass. Yuri Hrdina. Hrdina, a nice little move. Casually brings it over the blue line. Works his way in, and he fanned on the shot. Burke makes a good defensive play. Trunchka tries to shoot it through his own skates. Heimer comes in with the elbow and then gives the shot. Gets the stick right up across the neck. The linesman has to get in and separate them. Bit of bad feeling creeping into this one. We had a lot of penalties at the start of the period. It settled down, and the West Germans were playing some excellent hockey. They don't want to lose it now by getting silly penalties again, do they?
They can't afford to go into that penalty box, but they do have to play an aggressive game to try and contain the Czechs. The Czechs aren't afraid to hit. The Germans are showing they're not going to back away either, as Heimer steps right in there and throws the body around and gets an elbow up and a stick. Good action.
Getting set for this face-off. Hrdina losing out. Krupp for West Germany. 1-0 the score as we approach the last minute in the period. A good one for both teams. It's been hard fought. It's been close. Both teams have had their chances. No penalty on the play despite the yell from the crowd. Merck comes out to stop it, runs into his own player. Krupp now for West Germany. One last effort before the buzzer goes in this period. Hasek gives that a helping hand, and that's pushed up on the left wing. Dolezal. Merck, a misunderstanding there. And Krupp goes after the Czech player. Hrdina wants to know. Dolezal says, I'll have a go. Krupp is such a big defenseman. He really doesn't shy away from anyone out there.
There's a slight lack of communication around that German goal as Merck and the defenseman weren't sure of who was going to take the puck. There you see Piotrowski over there signaling a high sticking call. That's going to come against the West Germans. There you see Hilger making his way, sitting down in the penalty box. 2 minutes for the high stick.
Richard, we've talked about this before. Coming up to the end of the period here, they're now a man short. Not a good time to be scored upon.
Now you've got 22 seconds left in this period. You want to get out of this, have a chat, regroup, and come back out hard in the second. You certainly don't want a goal scored on you at this point in the period.
It really is difficult for a coach to motivate his team when they've just had a goal put in their net and they're sitting in the dressing room with their heads down.
It's fine to play aggressive hockey, but the West Germans are going to have to stay away from that extra hit late after the whistle. Refs right on those calls.
Tranchka gets it back, but not out. Serban kept it in. The West Germans will shoot that all the way down the ice. 10 seconds remaining in the period. Serban dropping it back. A chance for a long shot. No problem there. The buzzer finally goes to end the first period. Reichel scored at 2:40 of the first period for Czechoslovakia. The score is 1-0 for them. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to the second period. West Germany up against Czechoslovakia. A great game in store here. The Czechs lead it by 1-0, but the West Germans are far from out of it. Right now, Hilger for West Germany is in the penalty box. So a power play situation for Czechoslovakia. High sticking was the call.
The Germans played a good first period. They've got to keep up the work here.
Serban, Staviana. Up on the wing to Seeger. Off the backboards to the far side. Hasek scoots it all the way around to Seeger again. Seeger looking for the defenseman, Staviana, and finds him. Serban at the top of the circle. Hasek. Serban breaking towards the net. Staviana gets it back at the blue line. Seeger to the far side. A lot of passes, no shots on goal yet. Still, it's Czechoslovakia with a power play situation. Seeger, a lot of time. Staviana into the circle. Seeger now cruises right in, fakes the shot, and gives that one away. Kiesling can't take it out of the zone, and eventually it is batted out. Some good defensive work there by West Germany. They didn't have to do much. They just held their ground.
Stayed in that box very well until killing this penalty off.
Seeger got it up. Kuchera, this time the shot goes right on goal. Merck makes the save. The rebound comes out, and Staviana picks it up at the goal mouth. Shadowed there by Burke. Staviana to Kuchera. Yuri Kuchera over to the far side. The return pass coming all the way around. Cadillac gets the shot. Hasek goes in. Kuchera's there, takes a shot, and that's wide of the net. Hilger steps back on the ice. A chance for the Czechs there to get the shot away with number 25, Lubina, but he just couldn't get a handle on the puck, and that goes over the plexi, and we'll have a face-off.
The Germans doing a good job killing that penalty off. They've got to stay out of the box and mount some sort of an attack of their own. They really are playing good position hockey at this point. They're skating well, they're containing the Czechs, and a bit unlucky to be down 1-0 at this point.
Unshaven Merck there, looking solid, giving up only one goal in the first period to Reichel.
A hockey player never shaves the day of a game, Paul.
Coming up now, West Germany. Brandl reached down for that one. Couldn't hold on to it. Hasek likes to come off the boards. A bit of a tricky bounce there. Shoved back in. Hasek tips that one into the corner. Brandl for West Germany gets it back to the point. A long shot coming from Harold Price. All around the net now. Brandl gets it over to Lupzig. Lupzig looking for someone in the slot area, and Czechoslovakia now coming back with Yuri Hrdina. Hrdina taken out of the play by Price. Prohatska can't keep it in. Baka for Czechoslovakia. Pollock. Jaeger with that full face mask, trying to go round Heimer, squeezed nicely out of the play by Willman and Heiger. Dreisaitl. Heimer. Well, you think by now the whistle would have blown. The official says play it, and they do just that. Gets as far as the blue line and trickles out to center. Serban. The long pass picked up by number 18, Schmidt. Jaeger for Czechoslovakia comes back on the wing. The pass too hard for anyone, and shot back in by Schmidt. Serban. Bedřich Serban, a nice little move as he's brought to the ice. More of a dive, I fear. The official lets that one go, but West Germany are called for icing.
Both teams getting fresh legs out on the ice. The puck taking a few crazy bounces. A lot of good work in the corners. The Germans still sticking with the Czechs very well in their defensive zone.
We have seen a lot of that puck bouncing, flipping, bobbling, going up on the edge. The ice perhaps a bit warm.
It could be warm out there, as that would create that puck to bounce like that, but the Czechs are not getting the free space in the German zone that they want.
Over on the right wing, defensive work there coming from Czechoslovakia. Gudas. That took a deflection. Krohn has problems picking it up along the boards. Dieter Hagen. Hasek goes after it. Czechoslovakia now with three players buzzing around that net. Hasek picks it up. Seeger's cruising out front. Trunchka will get to it first. Trunchka drops it back for Udo Kiesling. Now it's Czechoslovakia's turn with Hasek to put on a little pressure. A good defensive move there by Trunchka to skate in front of the net and pick it off.
Well, he's a very good defensive center as well as offensive. Trunchka covering that area low in front of the net to help out the defense. Merck with a heads-up play there to take the face-off as the Germans look very unsettled for the last minute or so in their own end.
Kunhako, the assistant coach, taking charge of the West German bench. Holtzman in the face-off circle. Jelinek will try to get it back to the defense. Heimer gives it to Burke. Burke prepared to take anyone on. Touched by Baka, the whistle blows. Burke was brought to the ice. Kuchera skates slowly to the penalty box. Hooking will be the call.
A good rush by Harold Burke up the ice. A couple of nice moves as he's moving toward that Czech goal. Kuchera was beaten by a step and put the hook on him. Here you see Harold Burke on the attack. One nice move there at the blue line. He's out of the zone and he's on his way. Kuchera doing a good job trying to back check, but puts a slight hook on Burke just enough to pull him down. This is a good opportunity for the Germans here. They need to strike and get back into this one.
If they do, there could be no stopping them. Back to the point. Hasek cut down the angle, made the save. Burke still has control around the net. West Germany now with a power play situation. Heimer tees it up, takes the shot. In a defense there, going after it is Hrdina. Heimer squeezes it back in, trying to get it back to Heimer. He gets it back into the corner. Serban goes after it, and Heimer gets it once again over to the far side. Schmidt takes a lazy shot to Burke. Trunchka couldn't contain that, let it go to the far corner, and Heimer again takes a shot right on Hasek, and Trunchka bats at it, but Hasek holds down the puck on the ice for the face-off.
A good job by Dominik Hasek to cover this puck. There you see the action. This is what Hasek is looking at. Directly at him, Trunchka's hacking and whacking for that rebound. A good job by Serban to keep Trunchka and Burke away from that net. There were two German forwards right there on the doorstep.
Trunchka right there, swinging the backhand swing. Burke is there. Serban getting in between them, helping out Dominik Hasek on the play. Leo Gudas golfs that one all the way down into German territory. Well, I've been impressed with the West German play throughout this tournament. And here's another fine example of what they can do as they continue this power play against Czechoslovakia rather. Trunchka for West Germany gets it all the way back. Niederberger flips it over to the far side, and the West Germans will have to regroup and start it over again. Dieter Hagen to Udo Kiesling. Kiesling is hit by Serban and knocked heavily to the ice.
Serban and Gudas both play the body very well.
Well, I don't know what the jeers were about and the whistles. That was a clean hit. That was a fine hit. Trunchka races down, but Hasek comes out on hands and knees to smother it, and the officials skate right to the corner to get between these players.
Another point to mention, Kiesling likes to throw his body around. He's a defenseman as well. He knows that was a good hit. He wasn't complaining.
That's all part of the game. The players know it, but sometimes the fans don't understand it, especially when it's one of your team out there getting flattened. Krupp tees it up, takes a shot. That bounces all the way back, and Krupp picks it up at his own blue line. Just a couple of seconds now remaining. The long shot coming from Lupzig. Held in. Well, it wasn't held in. The Czechs back at full strength. Kuchera back on the ice. Good job by Czechoslovakia there to kill off that 2-minute penalty. That whistle blew, of course, because West Germans brought it in over the blue line. It just trickled over, and the defenseman thought he was quick enough to fool the linesman. Krupp shot it in there. Staviana had it go off his stick. Hilger punched it back in. Dolana again takes a wild swing at it, all the way down to Merck. Staviana, a shot right on the target. That surprised Merck. Krupp now for West Germany, and the West Germans have slowed down a bit, losing perhaps a little concentration here. Kreis all the way back to Serban. Staviana, the long pass up center. He loves to do that. Lubina, Yuri Hrdina, all in a collision there. Kreis taking Lubina out of the play, and now Lubina takes a shot. The rebound coming in there. Draisaitl for West Germany. Some good work from Merck to clear that one away. The long shot all the way up on the left wing. Jelinek tries to take that one around Smith. The backhand shot wide of the target. West Germany now breaking with 3 men up. 4 Czechoslovakian players back. Willman taken out of the play nicely. A long pass to center. Jelinek can't get on it. A nice little play there. And the offside call as Yuri Dolezal skated in at what looked to be a good play.
Jelinek encircled and just unable to get back out of that zone. There you see Jelinek desperately trying to get back out. It's brought in. Very close call there.
Of course, Richard, he is allowed to straddle it, and that's what he's doing there.
Certainly looked like he had the blue line straddled. The linesman very quick on the whistle, though. Didn't see it that way. That could have been trouble as well with Dolezal going in there.
Pavel Woe, the Czechoslovakian coach, spelling things out along the bench. Up on the wing now for Hollick, looking for Jaeger on the far side. The Germans getting that by Prohatska, breaking out now as a unit with Kiesling, brought to the ice. The official's arms stay down, no penalty. And again, we hear the reaction from the German supporters. Hollick, Jaeger gets by Kiesling, but Kiesling comes up with it. Jaeger again working hard out there all over the ice for Czechoslovakia. And Merck comes out of his net to smother that and call for a face-off, perhaps looking for a change in personnel out there so the West German side can get things going.
There's a look at Kiesling as he was apparently pulled down. You can see arms going up on the German bench, and that support that's behind the bench was going wild for a minute. No call on the play.
Sometimes that kind of support can influence a referee's decision, though, can it?
Most certainly can, even though sometimes it's an Academy Award-winning performance by the player to dive.
That took a deflection. Heimer goes over for it against Seeger. Heimer got to it first, but not a good clearance from him. Right in front of the net. Serban worked his way in from the point. Hasek now trying to get it right out front, and he does. Seeger couldn't get the shot away. Burke with Holtzman. 4 German players on one side of the rink. Pass back to the defense now. Burke wants it and he gets it. Working up with Trunchka. Burke over the blue line. Looking for Holtzman. Burke takes the shot. Hasek gets a stick to it. Burke doing some rough stuff along there. Some good forechecking from him. Trunchka has it go through his skate. Krohn now. Hasek and Krohn breaking over. Schmidt is beaten on the backhand side, but he steers his man right into the boards. Seeger picks it up nicely. Looking for Hasek in front. Krohn was there too. Burke still out on the ice, turns and brings it back for West Germany. Excellent stuff from both teams. Non-stop ice hockey, end-to-end stuff as Kadlec goes back and Burke takes a well-deserved break. Minute mark here in the second period. Still just 1-0 for Czechoslovakia. Wide open ice hockey, anyone's game. Kadlec changing on the fly there. Brandl backhanding it. That one goes over to the wing. Dolana. The deflection right to Merck. We'll have a face-off. Some good stuff there, Richard. Both teams really opening it up and going for goal.
Well, the play certainly has opened up. That's a good line for the Czechs that was just out there. They do a lot of work around that goal. Krohn, Seeger doing a lot of work.
And the face-off now. Kuchera getting that back slightly. Dolana right in there to get the shot away.
Get a look at Klaus Merck. He's had his hands full. The Germans have stood up well in front of him, though.
One of their best outings so far, the West Germans. And they're far from out of this one. Batted back to Merck. Kiesling picks it up, chased by Kuchera. Gudas will have to wait for his teammates to come out of the zone, and he gets it back in the break, going right in on goal. Lubina was there. Good little pass from Gudas. Kammerer shoots it off the woodwork. Draisaitl mixes it up with Cadillac. Draisaitl again gets it and then loses it. Lubina now, another attempt. Lubina works his way in, tried to get over to Dolana, and West Germany now with 3 players on the wing. Oh, a nice little move by Draisaitl, taking a lot of time to get over that blue line. Flips it eventually to Willman, and now Dolana right in front. Kuchera takes a shot, and a good save by Merck as Dolana was brought to the ice heavily.
Great play here, heads up passes. He just dumps that puck through past the German defenseman. Kuchera just manages to get pulled down late. Merck does well to come up with a save. Nice pass from Dolana. Kuchera's in there. Both teams are doing a good job of back checking as well. It's end-to-end action, but both teams are coming back strong.
So, good save by Merck. But that play will cost him a penalty. Kiesling sits it out for 2 minutes.
Well, Kiesling was the man who was trying to get back into that play. Kuchera was in there. Kiesling with a heavy slash on him to try and interfere with him.
Krupp goes into the corner against Reichel. Hrdina, rather. And that gets as far as Prohatska. Hrdina gets the return pass. Hrdina got that back into the corner, and Prohatska keeps it in. A lot of room for the Czechs to move around in front of that net. This time, Merck shoots it down the ice.
Good play from Klaus Merck to get that puck out. Very important that the West Germans kill this one off.
Well, they're saying that Hrdina picked up that pass inside the blue line. The crowd calling for an offside call there, but again, Merck killing this one off himself.
Merck playing like another defenseman out there, using his stick well, keeping his head up, dumping the puck down the ice.
1:03 remaining in the penalty. Hrdina slowly building it up as he gets it back to Prohatska. The shot takes a deflection, bounces off a high stick, and that's golfed all the way down the zone again. And you can see the signal from the official indicating that that was tipped by a stick over the shoulders.
Face-off will come all the way back down into the West German end.
Kiesling with 53 seconds remaining on the penalty. 13-18 gone in the period. Still 1-0. Reichel's goal in the first period looking good so far for Czechoslovakia. A lot of pushing and shoving on that face-off. The stick's getting high, and the Germans get it away. The pass over to the far wing. Staviana. Pollock taken out of the play by Schmidt, but Reichel picks it up now. Staviana tries to get it over, and he's stopped by Holtzman, who drops it back. Dieter Hagen, oh, a good play there from West Germany as Holtzman gets it on the far side. Heimer got the shot away. Perhaps could have taken a little more time. Reichel works his way in now, and he's taken out of the play by Heimer, who came all the way back down the ice to take up his defensive position. Brandl, the West Germans back at full strength now as Kiesling races back on the ice. He'll pick this one up, flips it to center, and Brandl breaks in on the right wing. He's there with Hagen. Hagen gives it to Brandl. Brandl back to Krupp. The backhand shot is wide, but Brandl will get it and pick it up. Staviana goes after it. Pollock is there. Lipsig, a lot of holding, pushing and shoving along the boards. The Czechs now under a little pressure. The long pass, a good interception there by Kreis. Getting back in the play, and West Germany now turning it around. The long pass up on the wing, too far. Staviana gets to it. Icing is the call, and Staviana is pushed and shoved out of the play by Leipzig. That was a bit unnecessary, but that's the way the Germans are feeling right now.
Well, like I mentioned before, they feel a bit unfortunate not to be on the score sheet here. That's just good intensity. Aggressive forechecking by Leipzig. An excellent play by Dominik Hasek, showing his experience as he let that puck go once he saw that Staviana could get to it first. Had Hasek touched the puck, the icing would have been waved off, but he let the puck go so Staviana could get the touch for icing, even though he paid the price with Leipzig coming in hard.
West Germans must be happy with their performance so far. They trail by 1 against one of the favorites in the tournament. Hasek going against Steiger now, and the official saying, get out of the circle. If they refuse to go out, they can pick up a delay of game penalty. They really have to be careful. Dieter Hagen, Niederberger. The long pass missed by Steiger. 15:09 gone in the second period. Hasek again in the face-off circle. Trunchka losing out. Hasek now right in front, lost control of that. Trunchka comes back in to break that one up. Kiesling, Seeger, not a good clearance from Kiesling. Right in front of the net there. Krohn, a great job of moving it into the slot area. Over to the far side to Cadillac. Cadillac takes a swipe at it. Krohn was right there, but Merck made the save.
Krohn, Seeger, and Hasek, that's a good line out there. They're to be watched. Really moving that puck around. Merck well on his toes there to come up with a couple of saves. This is the earlier play. Krohn with a lovely move here, just puts a backhander wide of the post. That easily could have been a goal.
Czechoslovakian supporters singing their songs of praise for the team out on the ice. Burke getting it over. Holtzman takes a shot. Hasek makes the save. Good action at both ends. Dolana loses control. Trunchka bats it back in, and Kuchera comes back for it for Czechoslovakia. Kuchera now working his way into the slot area, pushing it forward for Lubina. Dolana to Lubina. He can't hang on to it. Held against the boards, and this time the whistle comes fairly quickly, and we'll have a face-off.
A little crowd reaction there. Lubina threw a nice check on Bernard Trunchka.
There's the shot coming in on Hasek. Good save by him. The West Germans just couldn't get to that rebound.
Burke with a great play there as he rushed the puck down the ice, as we've seen many times in this game so far. Laid a lovely pass over to Holtzman there.
Brandl against the Czechoslovakian center. Kuchera. Price. Kept in by Prohatska. Jaeger handled that one off to Kuchera to the far side. Leipzig goes after it. Lubina taps that one into the corner. Czechoslovakia trying to bring it right out front. Kreis now. Still it's Kreis. Eventually just scoots that one into the corner. Hasek comes out. Baca got it forward. Kuchera. The little pass not strong enough. That takes a deflection off of Hilger. West Germany now breaking forward with two men. Brandl's with them. Brandl will go into the corner and pick it up. Gets it right in front. Leipzig is there. that went high into the air, and Kuchera got it as far as the blue line. Krupp kept it in. Oh, and Krupp brings his man heavily to the ice, and the Czech is hurt at center. Lubina gave Krupp a shot, and they're starting to go at each other right in front of the Czechoslovakian bench. And I, for one, would not mess with Krupp. He's a big one. Kuchera getting up slowly. We'll look forward to this spell on the bench.
Well, they say teammates stick up for each other. Lubina really sticking his neck out there as he gave Krupp a shot late. Got away with that one. The referee probably should have given Lubina a 2-minute penalty for that. Krupp had taken Kuchera out heavily but clean. Lubina came in a little bit late.
Kuchera counting his teeth on the bench. Play continues, no penalties on the play. Serban drops it off. The Czechs with Staviana being shadowed by Dieter Hagen. Serban shadowed by Trunchka. Some good forechecking by Czechoslovakia. They're putting the pressure, by West Germany. They're putting the pressure on Czechoslovakia, making it difficult for them to break out of their own zone. Niederberger tapped that one forward. Niederberger again to Trunchka. Trunchka taking his time, waiting for his teammates. Not a good play by him. Breaking right in is Hrdina, and a great save by Merck. Trunchka got himself in all sorts of trouble. He took a bit of time waiting for his players to come back to get something organized, and he handed it right to Yuri Hrdina.
Well, Merck definitely saved Trunchka here. I'm sure he appreciates that. A giveaway, a rare one by Trunchka. Hrdina's right in there. I'm sure he'd like to have this one back himself as he shot it right into Merck. Hrdina with NHL experience, I'm sure, is shaking his head. He wants that one back. One more chance at that one.
So the score remains Czechoslovakia 1, West Germany 0. Reichel's goal in the first period still looking good. A nice little move there by Burke on the left wing, gets it back. Trunchka now breaking down, chance for the shot. A save on the blocker by Hasek. Schmidt working his way, and he takes the shot this time. The rebound up to Trunchka, it's still loose right in front of the net. And Czechoslovakia push it out, and Heimer goes back for it.
Once again, Hasek does well to keep that puck out of the net. The Germans have done everything but score a goal here.
Holzman lofts that one back in. Gudas all the way up to Heimer. Delayed offside on the play, but Burke brings it back in. Trunchka now. Trunchka for West Germany has it taken off his stick. Reichel takes the shot. That hits a defenseman. Schmidt got in front of it, got a piece of it. The pass all the way out to Burke. Oh, a nice little number by him. Trunchka backhander into Schmidt. Schmidt is grabbed and taken out of the play. Eventually the puck is pushed away.
Great action there. Beautiful pass from Trunchka as he led Schmidt with that. Schmidt was on his way. The Czechs had to pull him down there as he had split through that defense. There you see action earlier. Trunchka waiting for that rebound. It's there. Good action. The Germans just unlucky not to get a goal here.
Cadillac, of course, quick to respond to take Trunchka out from behind.
Hasek is the man going to the penalty box. 55 seconds left in this period. The Germans really need a strike here going into this buzzer.
We see this penalty again. Hasek on this side, coming right in there. Gets the stick in. Schmidt brought to the ice. And the penalty occurred. So Czechoslovakia with a man down, and they will be as we go into the third period, but still lots of time left for West Germany to strike here in the second. Kiesling. Udo Kiesling for West Germany gets the return pass. Kuchera goes forward for Czechoslovakia. 30 seconds now remaining on the period. Dieter Hagen for West Germany. Hagen, good little move by him to get around Prohatzka. Crossed in front of the net to number 24, Steiger. Kiesling back to Steiger. Time running out. Kiesling fakes a shot. No one fooled by that one. Right across to Niederberger. He takes a shot. That's right on the target. Hasek with Hagen right there along with Trunchka. Hangs onto it.
Good job of defense by Baca as he's clearing the front of that net. Trunchka standing right there waiting for that rebound. Was very nicely set down on his backside by Baca, who says, get out of the way here and stay away from the front of this net. There you see Trunchka working hard. Baca hits him from behind.
So mean. Baca in front of that net. Took 2 swipes at Trunchka. Hasek still in the penalty box. Good shot there of the glove hand up on the crossbar. Merck enjoying a bit of a rest here. Dieter Hagen takes the shot. That took a deflection as the buzzer goes to end the second period. Quite an exciting period. No goals. The only goal coming in the first period at 2:40 from Rajko of Czechoslovakia. And that's how it stands right now. A good period there for West Germany.
The Germans have played a very determined game here. They're all over it. I'm sure they're just going to say, let's keep going, guys. We're working hard. Let's stay into this one.
Well, West Germany will have the man advantage when we start the third and final period. Join us in a moment after the break. Welcome back to Freiburg, Switzerland for the Pool A championship game between Czechoslovakia and West Germany. The Czechs with a man in the penalty box as we start the third period. 1-0 the score for Czechoslovakia. Merck in the West German goal has been sound. He's been sensational at times, and they're going to need a strong performance from him in this third and final period if they have any hopes at all of winning this game.
The Germans have had a lot of hype in this game. They've played well for 2 periods, but can they stay with the Czechs in the third period and overcome that 1-goal deficit?
1:04 remaining on the penalty to Hasek. West Germany playing from left to right. Trunchka brought to the ice, and Czechoslovakia shoot it down. Niederberg goes after it. Niederberger for West Germany. Big defenseman gets it up on the left wing. Kiesling kicks out along the boards. Dieter Hagen gives it to Trunchka. Too many red shirts there as Krohn breaks out for Czechoslovakia. Krohn stops. Will rag this one to kill off the penalty. Kiesling will have to bring it out again. Dieter Hagen up on the far wing. Heimer takes the shot. Whistles by the net. Dolana squeezed it away. Schmidt gets it over. Hasek steps back on the ice. So Czechoslovakia successful in killing off that penalty. Burke, who is always so dangerous, such a good stick handler, dropped to the ice. Cadillac shooting it away. Lubina chasing Heimer. Heimer for West Germany now, bringing it out, gets round Kuchera. Stopped nicely. Coming back in, the shot. And that's in the net. Lubina picked up the rebound. Dolana was right there with that shot. Merck couldn't handle it, and the score is now 2-0.
That could really hurt the Germans here as the Czechs had just successfully killed this penalty off. Dolana with the big shot here and a 2-on-1 as the play broke down at the blue line. Lubina's all alone for the tap on that rebound.
2-on-1 break here. Dolana lets go a rocket. Merck can't hold it, and that is so easy for Lubina.
This is exactly what the Germans didn't need. There's the shot. Merck can't handle the rebound. It was a hard shot. Lubina right there to touch the rebound in. Now the Germans have really got their backs to the walls here. They've really got to go for it.
1:35 of the period gone. A good start for Czechoslovakia as Krupp goes back to pick it up. Left, right in front, the shot. Steered away, and Brandl starts out for West Germany. He leaves it right on the blue line. Lupsig left it for Krupp. Krupp for West Germany. Brought to the ice, but he gets it to Brandl. Brandl takes a shot. Hasek makes the save, and Hrdina scoots it up the center. The break now is on. Going right in on the backhand side. Dolezal, number 15 for West Germany. Hilger cleared that one away. Good action at both ends, and another fine save by Merck.
The action's gone wild here, end-to-end, wide-open hockey. Close chance at Hasek at one end. The puck goes all the way back down, and the Czechs almost scored another goal here. Good stuff from Dolezal. Super save by Merck there as Dolezal had put it to the backhand.
Reichel getting set for this face-off. Trunchka out there at center, and it comes back to Niederberger. Udo Kiesling. Steiger loses control, and Reichel gets it up on the wing. Reichel to Jaeger, taken out of the play. Kiesling got a piece of that and broke it up, and West Germany flip it to the far side. Coming back now is Steiger. Steiger trying to get it right in front. He does. Hasek got to it first. Steiger was there with Hagen. Jaeger gets it up. The long shot coming from Robert Hollick, held on to by Merck. And West Germany are not giving anything away here. They're going right for the goal all the time. They're not holding back and playing defensive hockey, and that's a good sign. Hollick here teeing this one up just inside the blue line.
They're down 2-0, and they've got to go for the goals, but they've also got to make that transition and turn to defense just as quickly. The play had broken down in the Czech zone with a close opportunity with Hagen in there, but as the play comes back down, the Germans are going to have to keep coming back.
Hasek, Seeger, and Krohn. Schmidt goes, Willman rather, for West Germany, goes into the circle, and Krupp comes up with it. Kammerer hasn't seen a lot of action for West Germany. It's been thrown out there now. Hasek getting it up on the wing. Kammerer right in front of his own net to Krupp. Krupp getting it back. A nice pass by him. The long shot by Kammerer takes a deflection. Leo Gudas up on the left wing. Hasek. Kammerer picks that one up. Kammerer flips it back to the Czechoslovakian defense. Baka. Hasek. Took a deflection, ends up in the crowd, and we have another face-off. Time for a line change for both sides.
Teams are changing quickly in this third period. They want to keep fresh people out there on the ice.
2-0 the score here in the third period. A quick goal by Lubina has extended the Czechoslovakian lead. Baka. Kuchera. Still Kuchera takes the shot. Heimer got a piece of that. Working right in there was Dolana. Trunchka trying to get away along the boards. Holzman goes in to help him out. And that's pinned against the woodwork by number 25, Lubina. Takes a long time for those whistles to eventually come, doesn't it?
The referees try to encourage the players to keep it moving, keep the puck going. You'll oftentimes hear the referees yelling, keep going, keep going.
Good shot there of Piotrowski, the American referee. Kuchera lets that one go, and Heimer comes up with it. Up on the wing to Burke. Burke still has it. A little interference there by Holtzman, gets him free. Burke now working his way into center. Burke trying to split the defense. Holtzman comes up with it. Offside is the call. Burke, so quick to move with that puck. Always willing to take on the defense as he steps off the ice for a break with Holtzman and Heimer. Good crowd here in Switzerland. This tournament has been well attended throughout. They really have enjoyed the hockey, and we've seen some great games. This one here is far from over. 2-0 the score, Czechoslovakia over West Germany, and the West Germans putting up one heck of a fight. Brandl gets it back. Kruk pushing that one forward to Brandl, a bit too far for him. Staviana. A long pass up to Hrdina. Hrdina runs into Krupp, and Lipzig is there to take it away from him. Hilger has problems along the boards. Brandl tips it in over the blue line. Krupp fires it into the corner. Lipzig can't get a handle on it. Staviana goes back for it. Serban now with over 5 minutes gone in the third period. 2-0 the score. Right to the stick of Hasek. Lipzig shadows Czechoslovakia with Serban. The short headmanning of the puck going up for Jelinek, trying to get round Brandl. Brandl takes him out of the play. Now Trunchka getting it forward. Hilger deflected away by Hasek. Hilger still going after it, takes a swipe at Kadlec. Dolezal spun out of the play. Trunchka never quits out there as he's dumped to the ice. Kiesling touches it for the icing call. Tireless work out there by Trunchka behind the goal.
The Germans forechecking very well there. Trunchka, as you said, never dies. Good work from him. The Czechs forced to take that icing call and regroup. Gudas behind the goal. Always rough, always physical. Hilger getting up with that cross-check. Dolezal has a few problems. Trunchka eventually came in. Now back to the action with Dieter Hagen. Hagen, Kadlec pushes him into the woodwork. Still kept in by Trunchka. Back as far as Kiesling. Dieter Hagen couldn't get onto that. Niederberger now gets over there. Hagen goes in and picks it up. Trunchka is still with him. Trunchka going after it, picks it up. Trunchka trying to bring it out front, battles at the Kiesling, takes a shot, and that went off a pad. Pollock got a piece of it. Niederberger, a bouncing, bobbling puck. Kuchera tried to get it to Hollick. Play slowing down here. Perhaps the team's getting a bit tired on the play, looking for a change as Leo Gudas brings it out slowly. Hollick for Czechoslovakia. Taken in over the line. The delayed offside is waved off now as Trunchka, Bernhard Trunchka takes a shot. Hasek was there. Back as far as Heimer. That's deflected. Trunchka tried to use, or Holtzman rather, with Trunchka there, tried to tip that in from the far side, and it just didn't come off. And again, it's shot all the way down. Schmidt goes back to touch it, and we have another icing call with West Germany continuing to apply the pressure here in the third period. They certainly haven't given up. They're going all out here, trying to keep the puck in the Czech zone. The Czechs not so much unorganized themselves, but really finding themselves under a lot of pressure, doing the safe thing, just dumping it out.
You can see on the far bench the Czechoslovakian goaltender Petr Brise shouting out words of encouragement to Hasek. Hang in there, he's saying. At least that's what I think he's saying. I don't speak Czech, but that's what I would say if I was sitting out there. Keep the boys moving. Keep the puck out of the net. Burke brings it out. The West Germans prepared to take on the defense. Baka spun Trunchka around. Krohn got it from Hasek. Krohn goes in now, takes the shot. That takes a deflection and goes into the corner. Schmidt got the woodwork on that. Merck helps out Burke on the play. Krohn takes a little push from Schmidt. Hasek tries to get it back in West Germany now. Changing on the fly, bringing it forward with Burke. Burke pushed it up to Lubzig and he took a hit. Baka took a hit. Both teams changing on the fly. The helmet sitting right on the blue line.
Lubzig's head went down just for a minute and he paid the price there.
Merck made a nice save. Lubina picked up the rebound and was spun out of the play. Krupp gets it across to the far side. Hilger working his way in now. He's taken out with a stick. Gotta be a penalty on the play. Baka, mean Mr. Baka, will go for tripping. 48-56 of this game. Let's take a look at this again.
There you see Hilger just trying to work around him. He's got a good move. Baka had slid across to try and stop him. Got a piece of his body. Hilger went flying into the end boards. The referee saw that as a trip.
An excellent chance now for West Germany to apply the pressure. 2-0 the score. The Czechs still lead it on goals from Reichel and Lubina. One in the first period, one at the start of the third. West Germany have done everything but put it in the net. That shot coming from way back at the point. Hasek made the save. Trunchka gets it behind to Steiger. Trunchka goes after it. Kuchera will get there first. The Czechs now breaking hard. The shot coming right on Merck and a good save. Lubina got a piece of that. Kiesling gives him a bit of a shove, but really Kiesling doesn't want a penalty at this stage. They got a man advantage. He should stay well out of it.
Big shot here. Merck gets the glove up. Nice save by him. Lubina was right in there. Quite innocent, actually. He really wasn't taking a swipe at Merck. Sort of hanging on to him once he was spun around. Kiesling just showing a little authority. There's nothing wrong with that.
So an important face-off as Hrdina does the honors for the Czechs and wins it, but Dieter Hagen picks it up. They have the man advantage. Hagen shoves off a Czech from Hrdina and gets it over to the far side. Behind the net, Hagen doesn't know where it is at all. It comes back as far as Kiesling. He lost it completely. Dolezal going in, right in front to Hrdina, and West Germany now back on the attack. Trunchka moving in. They're calling that offside. You get a shot of Baka perspiring in the penalty box.
The Germans really pushing that net toward the puck toward the net, rather. Sticks flying all over the place. Hasek had lost his stick. One of the defensemen had lost his. Anything could have happened there. The Czechs managed to ice that puck, though.
Hrdina, Holzman won it. Heimer drops it back to Krupp. Still the man advantage for West Germany. The slap shot coming from way out. Again, it's stopped by the defense. They really are getting in front of these. Under a minute remaining as we reach the midway point in the period. Under a minute remaining on the penalty. Some good stick work here by West Germany as Heimer stops along the boards. Krupp wants it back at the point. Too long on the puck, but Krupp comes up with it. A nice little move by him, but Dolezal there backs it off the boards, and Krupp has to go out of the zone. Krupp now having problems with Hulick. Ulrich Heimer slows things down and pushes it up on the left wing. Just a couple of seconds now remaining. Holtzman tries to find Burke. That's too far for him. Baca steps on the ice. Czechoslovakia back at full strength. We're going to take a break. Join us in a moment. Welcome back. The third and final period at the midway point. 2-0 the score. Czechoslovakia over West Germany. The Czechs have just successfully killed off that penalty to Baca. But the West Germans still looking strong. Hilger getting it up. They're playing heads-up hockey. Grandel took a shot. That's the kind of thing they need. Krohn now for Czechoslovakia coming back. Krohn working his way in on the backhand side. Still it's Krohn shoved and pushed along the boards, and West Germany winning a lot of these pucks, these 50-50 pucks. They're fighting, playing heads-up hockey out there, giving 100% all the time, and their efforts are paying off. They still have yet to put the puck in the net, though. Kadlec intercepted there by Draisaitl, who has been used sparingly throughout this game. The West German coach looking for fresh legs as Lubina goes back for it. Slowly, deliberately, they bring it out, set it up. Rink-wide pass intercepted as Kuchera picks it up. Dreiss got a piece of it, but eventually Kuchera came up with a puck, and now West Germany starting out. Kammerer gives it off to Willman. Willman sidesteps a check. Kuchera has it behind his own goal, and that's shot away as far as the blue line, and Kreis. Kammerer working his way in, taken out of the play, and all Lubina can do is backhand it to the point. The shot comes right back in. Another one from Krupp, handled by Hasek, and it's West Germany, one-way traffic here in the third period. Excellent stuff from them. Czechoslovakia at times looking completely disorganized.
The Germans know they've got to go for it. There are three West German forwards camped out in front of that net. There you see Krupp taking the shot. Hasek's got it. He's cool, he's calm, he's been here before, he's got the experience, he knows what to do. He'll take a face-off right there any day.
Voted to the All-Star team in last year's tournament, Dominik Hasek. A lot of experience with good backup in Petra Brise. Steiger, Kiesling bouncing off the Czechs' pads. That was Serban. Yuri Hrdina taken out of the play by Kiesling. The West Germans now with Dieter Hagen. Hagen over the blue line. Tap on his stick there by Jelinek. Broke that play down. We'll have another face-off. The Czechs perhaps relaxing just a little bit here with that two-goal cushion, but let's not take anything away from the West Germans.
The Czechs are a very opportunistic team, and the West Germans have played hard. They've just been very unlucky, I still feel at this point, not to have put one behind Hasek. They have worked hard enough to score goals. It just hasn't come off for them.
13-11 gone in the third period. The Czechoslovakian side taking a lot of time to set this one up. Hrdina wins it. Gets it back. Yuri Hrdina over the blue line, taking on Niederberger. Niederberger grabs him, pushes him to the ice. Trunchka right back in there, pushed along by Hrdina. Udo Kiesling for West Germany. Dieter Hagen, that took a deflection. Niederberger got it over to number 24, Helmut Steiger. Trunchka taken out nicely, and Baca comes up with it. Kiesling way up there, deep in Czechoslovakian territory. Steiger. Niederberger. Trunchka looking for that winger. Dolezal tried to get it away. It's behind the net. Trunchka's got it. Pressed against the metalwork. The whistle blows rather quickly, I feel, for the German side, but not quick enough for the Czechs. We'll have another face-off in the zone here. Let's take a look at this again. It ends up on the meshing and held there by number 15, Yuri Dolezal. So in the neutral zone we have the face-off, because that puck ended up on the mesh. Reichel over on the wing. Going back for it is Heimer with Reichel. Trunchka fires that one into the center ice. Jaeger taken out nicely. Burke. Holtzman. Burke again. Burke is all over the ice. Gudas put a nice shoulder on him. Burke moves right in on goal. Well, Hasek came way out, and Burke just really didn't get a shot away there, did he?
He might have waited a bit too long there. Immediately he could have shot the puck. He decided to put a couple moves on and look for Trunchka. It was too late then.
Burke again gets it back to Holtzman. Holtzman takes the shot. That goes through a crowd of players. Misses the net, is kept in. Burke again. Burke, definitely one of the stars of this West German side. The pass intended for Burke. Holtzman gets it now. That took a deflection. And the Czechs so quick to get in front of this puck. Holik shooting that out. Burke still behind the net, being held by Gudas. The official eventually coming along and saying, hey, let go of the stick. We want to play hockey out there. Hasek takes a swipe at it, misses it, but retains possession. Over to the far wing. Heimer gets it back into center with Holtzman. 2-0 the score as we approach the 16-minute mark. Leipzig now for West Germany. Right in front. Hilger was there. A lot of hooking on the play as the West Germans try to get back into the action here. Desperately trying not to get caught out of position. Randall for West Germany gives it off to Krupp. Krupp runs into number 20, Seeger. Serban muscles his way onto the puck and gets it loosely onto the wing. Going all the way down the ice. Kreis goes for it, but the icing call is waved off. Hilger tips it forward. West Germany now with Trunchka, stopped just before the blue line. Shot back in by Steiger. The pressure from West Germany continues here late in the third period. Hagen is brought to the ice. The fans call for a whistle. Kiesling takes an elbow. Hagen at center. Intercepted with just 3 minutes to go in the game. Trunchka. Hagen gives that one off. Trunchka loses control. Lubina now. Dolana. The shot. Kuchera is there. Kuchera takes the shot. He scores! Dolana did a lot of the work. Kuchera, number 14, was left alone there just long enough to put this one upstairs.
Well, he snapped this wrist shot off very quickly and caught Merck high on the glove side. Good action here as the play had broken down in the German zone. There's the initial shot coming in. The puck goes behind the net. The Czechs are quick to get to it, though. Good work from Dolana as he feeds Kuchera, who's open in the slot. He really snaps that one behind Merck.
Well, on that play, Kiesling was right with Kuchera. Watch him He's right with him there. Well, you can't pick it on this one, but he skated right away from him. Didn't pick up the puck, didn't pick up the player. He had time to shoot, and he made no mistake. So now the score, 3-0, as we approach the 2-minute mark in the third period. Quite against the run of play as Jelinek is brought to the ice. Hrdina takes a shot from a sharp angle. The save coming from Merck, and West Germany now with even more work to do. Trunchka, his shot took a deflection, he lost his stick, and he skates wearily to the boards. Jelinek, less than 2 minutes remaining in the game, pushes it back to Leo Kudas. The Czechs will kill this one off. They won't take any chances. Dolezal brings it back into his zone. No one's coming to get him, so he'll just hang on to it. Reichel, a chance for another shot, misses the target. Jaeger for Czechoslovakia. Reichel in the corner, flips that behind the net. Still the Czechs with Hollick. Jaeger still applying the pressure. Kept in, Staviana taps it slowly to the far side. Serban will take a shot. Merck handles that easily and will have another face-off. And the heads for West Germany have gone down.
They have dropped their heads, 3-0 at this point. They played very well, just didn't have enough. Once again, this third period, we keep talking about it. The big teams keep moving.
You can see the look on the goaltender and on the players as they get set for this face-off. 1 minute, 2 seconds remaining. They're disappointed. They played well, and they deserve to be in a better position. Having said that, Czechoslovakia have taken their chances and making the most of them.
Well, they just don't miss the opportunities when given them, and that's a sign of a good team.
Kiesling gets that one by Seeger. Baca will definitely take his time on this. Chased there by Steiger. Trunchka goes in after it. Right in front. Kiesling takes the shot, and some good defensive work to cover up and call for a face-off. Prohatska, playing goaltender out there, got in front of that shot.
Well, he certainly is a true defenseman. You're up 3-0 at this point. You go down and block a shot like that. That's a team man if I've ever seen one. Prohatska just smothering that puck off the shot from Kiesling.
Who wants to be a defenseman? You don't mind if you're a goaltender going in front of a shot like that. You're well protected. You've got the face mask. The defenseman, of course, tries to go in with the feet first, getting the pads on it. Heimer will get a shot away. Steered by Hasek into the corner. Lubina with just 20 seconds now remaining in the game. The touch there for the icing, and another chance for a face-off deep in Czechoslovakian territory. But I'm afraid West Germany are out of this one.
Well, the Czechs are one of the top teams, and one of the reasons being the coach just never relaxes. Pavel Woll over there, they're up 3-0. He was having a word with Baca and Prohaska as if to say, what happened on that last play? Why did the Germans have that opportunity?
Time ticking away, a chance there for Dolana. 5 seconds, the crowd counts it down. Serban skates slowly towards his own goal. There goes the buzzer to end the game. 3-0 the final score. The goals coming from Reichel, Lubina, and Kuchera. An excellent effort, though, from Merck and the boys from West Germany.
West Germans are that gutsy team that we've mentioned before, and they certainly played hard out there tonight.
Well, we said that the West Germans, if there was going to be an upset, it would come from them, and this one was close, very close indeed, and I still feel that West Germany could do the job against one of the top teams.